Cutting glass for your fused glass project is not a difficult job. But if you're just getting started out, you might want to practice your technique on some scrap glass or some cheaper window glass that's available at many home improvement stores. To get started, you're going to need to gather up a few tools. You always want to make sure that you have a good solid surface to work on. I also like to cover my surface with a thin piece of shelf liner. The non-slip shelf liner helps you keep your glass from moving around on the surface. You're going to need a simple straight edge or a square. You're going to also want a good quality glass cutter, possibly a pair of running pliers, and last but not least, a stone glass file. The running pliers are going to make cutting thin strips of glass a lot easier, and more importantly, they keep your hands off of any sharp edges created when you cut glass. Keep in mind that you're only scoring glass, and scoring glass requires very little pressure, maybe about 4 to 6 pounds. So, place your glass on top of your work surface. Using your straight edge, line up your cut line, and make a simple score. It's very easy. If you're using a square, it's the same thing. Square up your glass, use your glass cutter, and make a simple score. Now that you've scored the glass along your cut line, you can break it by simply grasping the glass with your thumbs close to the cut line and applying a downward pressure. You get a nice clean cut and you're ready to go. If you're using running pliers, you simply line up the guide mark that's on top of the running pliers with your score line and applying very slight pressure, break it downwards. You notice that by using the pliers, I'm keeping my hands away from the sharp edges. Once you've made your cut, there will be sharp edges anytime you cut glass. I use my stone glass file and simply knock off any really sharp edges. The edges are still going to remain sharp, but this will make it a little bit smoother and a little bit easier to handle. There you go. You've cut your first piece of glass.